Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Wednesday, January 18th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you are somebody that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple clarification points. Number one, the price you see over here will be moving around and changing, and the candlestick you see right there will also be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time, but I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. And then second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. Stock number one here, AMC, huge afternoon. It already started off on a respectable note with the gap up, pulled back here a little bit, and then the volume just came pouring in during that 30-minute session, and up the price went. So you better believe this one certainly set off radars moving forward. And the one level here that I'm going to continue to extend out because it's proven itself, and I've talked about this several times in the past, but like I said, it's continued to prove itself. So let's just continue to watch that overall trend line in the next coming days. Not saying it's going to come into play or anything like that, but if it does, like I said, curious to see how this level continues to react if the price does get around there, because so far the price has really respected that area of the chart. As far as levels of resistance are concerned, though, big level and key level headed into Wednesday. The market being closed on Monday is really throwing me off, but heading into Wednesday, right there at 605, where you can see several times today the price has gotten up around that area, and as far as momentum is concerned, the momentum has just not been able to really sustain itself or get any sort of follow through. So that'll definitely be the key area to watch moving forward. But the biggest news, at least in my opinion, is this right here. Does this mean anything, or is this just some sort of kind of just randomness as far as a volume surge? So like I said, in my mind, that's the most intriguing dynamic moving forward and worth keeping an eye on. Next one, BBBY, which overall, the chart's hanging in there, and keyword there being overall. When I extend it down, you can see that, no doubt about it, from right here to down there, that's been a pretty significant pullback. However, it really just shows how strong the chart was, because even with that pullback, and even with that being a low right there, when you compare this to previous lows, you quickly see that if you envision each of those as stair steps, that the stair steps very clearly are still progressing the upwards direction, again, from the overall standpoint. And I emphasize that because I understand if you're a day trader that bought right there and your plan was to buy and sell within 5 minutes, well then, yeah, from that perspective, you really don't care about these stair steps because the chart looks really terrible for you. But for those people that do care about the bigger picture, overall view of things, the trend is still in the bull's favor. What I'm very curious about moving forward now is this resistance area right around there, which puts the breakout point, give or take, right around $4.75. So right now, you got to like how the price currently is really respecting that purple line there, the 50-period moving average. You can see from this morning and then later on in the day. I mean, notice how the price is, if you envision that line as a wave, you can see that the price, if the price is a surfer, has done a great job of just surfing along the top part of that wave right here. So in my mind, the question now becomes, can the price get the move up to that level? So that's question number one. And then question number two, can the price get up through there and get that much more continuation? So definitely some very interesting dynamics here, because as this one has already illustrated, when this one moves, it can move very quickly. Next one, XELA, and I'm not going to say the only reason, but I'll say a big reason this one's on the watch list is because of this right here. Last 30 minutes, and as I speak, you can look over here, and you can see the volume is just pouring in, and that's why I like to do these when the market's open, because you can capture some of this interesting action. But last 30 minutes, volume pouring in, good solid green candle, which now twofold. First one, it is broken through that area. So resistance broken, so you can put a check in that box. The next check, and is where the question mark comes into play, is this the start of something bigger? Which is always an exciting question to ask, because think about it. In order to even ask that question, something worthwhile needs to first happen in the first place. But we have that. The first thing that happened is the price is now broken through that area of resistance. So yes, is this the start of something bigger? Does this volume down here represent just the beginning of, who knows, maybe even more volume? No, maybe it doesn't. That's completely a possibility. But that is a two-sided coin, because, well, maybe it is, and that the volume here is just getting started. So if you like penny stocks, worth at least keeping an eye on. Next one here, MARA, and from a trend building perspective, everything is operating as it should. Put in higher highs, put in higher lows. So again, trend building wise, that's exactly how you want to see things behave. I'm going to go ahead and do a little house cleaning, get rid of that level as it served its purpose for now. But the first big update that comes into play, based on a foundational rule in charting, which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. So going into the day, this level right around the 805 mark was a resistance, but price had the gap up, and a classic example, pulled back, opening 30 minutes, held strong, pulled back again, held strong. So moving forward, that's going to be the ideal level, meaning if you're asked, what would make this chart look the absolute best moving forward, certainly if the price can stay above that level. However, from the grand scheme of things, it's not like if the price falls below there, that implies the entire chart's destroyed, because from the overarching point of view, you still do have plenty of space up above that purple line there, that 50-period moving average, which you, from what you already saw on other charts, does have a good track record of also potentially acting as support. So overall, though, a lot of support sitting down below the price. In terms of areas of resistance, the main one that stands out for me, right up there around $8.70. But like I said, overall, everything continues to operate as it should. Higher highs and higher lows, and that's the name of the game. Next one, NIO. An interesting chart here. Let me squeeze things down and just offer up a bit more context. So all this is occurring in an upwards context right now, this being the bigger gap down that occurred today. But you can see just a very big desire to want to be able to maintain above that area of support down there. Let's just call it $11 to give it plenty of clearance. But you can see right here, $11 did a great job of holding strong. Right there, price didn't even really test it. And then even today, price didn't even really test it. But my point here is that right around this general area of $11 seems to be a good, solid, firm area of support. So if the price does pull back again, I completely would understand your point of view if you're thinking, I'm thinking of maybe buying at $11. Now, that doesn't mean that the price won't continue down through it, but I can certainly see your logic. I would never accuse you of just saying, well, geez, $11 seems like a totally random spot. No, there's quite a bit of data here that would support your rationale of thinking $11 could be significant from that angle. As far as levels of resistance are concerned, the big one right now is all about that purple line, which now is the 50-period moving average. But the key here is the price has dropped below it, so you would expect it to act as resistance, and that's exactly what it's doing. I mean, a couple of times right here, rejected the price. Once again this afternoon, rejected the price. So in the very near term, key level resistance, let's just call it $11.50. And then from more of the overarching point of view, key level resistance remains right up here around $11.75. Real quickly, wanted to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online training that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency as a trader, to manage risk, then certainly get signed up for the free training. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link in the description box. If you're watching at my site, there's an area right there on the webpage that you can click to get signed up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying what you've seen, then I want you to get signed up for the free live training. Next one here, MULN, and this will mean a bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but we've been tracking and talking about that area of support right there, that trend line, and you can see that when it was broken last week, that really opened up the floodgates for a move down, and then this morning, just even further movement to the downside. So am I going to call this a full-blown reversal? I'm getting very close to saying it. I'm not going to quite call it yet, and I'll explain why, but you can see right now that, yes, there's been a very deep pullback. And yes, the price is down below some key levels, but in my mind, that key area is going to be right there at 29 cents, because any sort of break below 29 cents basically is confirmation that, yeah, there's no doubt about it, that pink line has officially been broken, which is the very famous, very important 200-period moving average. Now, yes, I realize that the price is already below it, but it's not super far below it. But you do also have to acknowledge that at some point, okay, yeah, this has officially been broken. So in my mind, the quote-unquote officially broken area is going to be that 29-cent mark, which again, in my mind, is, a very key level, because on top of that, if the price were to come down there and break below there, now all of a sudden you got to start to have the conversation of, oh, wow, the price is essentially starting to go right back to where it was. And when price movements go back to where it was, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. So keep a close eye on that dynamic. But yeah, chart's looking very, very rough, borderline reversal, but watch 29 cents closely. Next, CLXT, another penny stock that had a very rough day when you consider that it gapped up and then pulled back. But in pulling back has presented a pretty well-defined area. So let me be very clear. Me putting that trend line in a place is not me trying to impress you, not implying that this is a great discovery. I have a special talent. No, in my mind, a lot of people have drawn that trend line. And I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So while there is no such thing as a guarantee, is it valid? Is it rational that if the price comes up to that trend line and can get a break up through it, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? In my mind, that is certainly a rational thought to have. So if you like to play breakouts as a penny stock trader, and you like to play breakouts that and more so are in bullish context, and this still is in a bullish context with the gap up, then I would definitely keep an eye on this one, and in particular, keep an eye on that trend line. Next one here, TSLA Tesla, and overall, very, very impressive move. In fact, I'm going to just go ahead and get rid of these levels here, and then just pat charts on the back here and offer a quick little plug to get signed up for that free training. Now, this will mean a bit more to those that watch past ones, but if you have, you've heard me talk about this area over and over again, $125 as resistance. And as the rule goes, when resistances are broken, they tend to act as support. And wouldn't you know it, price gapped above that area, slight pullback, and you can't make this stuff up. Beautiful. Right to that level before a very, very impressive bounce. So again, learn about charts. Get signed up for that free training. So as far as supports are now concerned, overarching one right there at 125 for the reasons we just discussed. In terms of a nearer term level, right up there at 130, and that's going to be, again, that ideal level. I mean, hey, Clay, what would make this chart look the best? Definitely if the price can stay above there. But if the price falls below it, by no means does that imply that everything is destroyed. As far as levels of resistance, got to squeeze things down here because it's been quite a while since the price has been up this high on the Tesla chart, with the next key overarching level of resistance being right there at these lows, which sit right around, let's call it 135.50. So 135.50, next key battleground to keep in mind going forward. But yeah, no doubt about it. As of now, this thing is continuing to put in some higher highs and higher lows. So let's see if the bounce can continue into Wednesday. Next one, TQQQ, which is an ETF that follows the NASDAQ. So if you believe that the NASDAQ market as a whole will rise, this one will also rise. It just allows you access at a much lower price point, which makes it probably the most popular ETF out there based on, number of shares traded every day. And overall, a good, healthy day. Now, I realize that you might be saying, Clay, healthy day, the price didn't really make any movements. And that's fine, and you're right. But you also have to keep in mind that nothing can go just straight up. Consolidation is needed, and as of right now, this is seemingly a healthy consolidation day, and I say that because main reason the price did a beautiful job of staying above that area of support that I talked about in last week's video. So sure, pulled back, but found some support. Then after that, it got pretty boring. Just kind of chopped around, went sideways, but boring does not equal bad because, again, nothing can go straight up all the time, as exciting as that would be. So, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that level now as it served its purpose, but we'll keep out this area of support right here, right on the 1990 mark. And then from an overarching standpoint, that red line up there at 21 still remains that next key overall arching battleground. But as far as a trend building perspective is concerned, as I already mentioned, this one did put in higher highs and higher lows, and that's what matters when it comes to building those uptrends. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then I want you to get signed up for that free live training. It'll be later this week, Thursday, January 19th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy this format, then please do two things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment below, tell me what you traded today, tell me what you're watching tomorrow. But those two things communicate to me that you're enjoying. And as long as I know people are enjoying, I will continue to put the required time and effort to get these watch list videos out to you. So again, get signed up for that free training. Hit that like button, leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.